Sunderland trying to keep their promotion push right on track as they win again. And what about Wigan? They're out of the drop zone. Can they survive? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction show. Today we take a look at match day number 7 out in, of course, the League One, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button, give you hang out to all things League One related, Blackpool Rovers related, related, got the bloody hiccups. Yes, continue, of course, League One coverage right here, right now. I've got the hiccups and it's put me right off my track, but we'll talk about all of that in just a second. Of course, big shout out to the VIP, Band of Brothers. We're talking about the Patreons, that's right, continue to support, even though I have the hiccups, that's right. So if you are interested in joining the band of men and women, check out the links down below. I'm on Patreon, check it all out. But let's get into it, of course. Bit of a bumper one this weekend coming out here, of course. Full fixture list and some. We'll take a look at all of that in a minute, of course. But let's have a look at how we all got on last time around with a mini fixture list, which took place this midweek. Kicking it all off with Burton. They went to Blackpool and they continue to keep their unbeaten run going. Recently, of course, Hayden Carter, Rovers on loan, get the goal scoring centre back. Luke Garber getting the goal for, of course, Blackpool, giving them a share of the spoils. Actually, remember the 2-1 for Burton. Shame on me, but it's okay. I'm happy with that. Meanwhile, MK Dons, they did beat Plymouth 2-1 in the end. Cameron Jerome on the score sheet, Scott Fraser as well. Connor Grant getting the goal for Plymouth as their season starts to unwind and fall out of control. 2-1 for me. Got the one bang on the bloody nose. Meanwhile, Fleetwood Town, they did beat Cookies Boys 2-0 in the end. Callum Connolly on the score sheet, Jared Gardner or Garner getting the goals for Fleetwood as they show Cookie what it's all about in League One. Ipswich, I went with Ipswich 2-1 for me, going the other way. Unfortunately, I was wrong. Charlton, though, they did beat Bristol Rovers. That's Joey Barton's boys, of course, now managerless Charlton. Andrew Shinney, Jake Foster, Caskey, Conor Washington on the score sheet for Charlton. Of course, Luke Lashy, Luke Lee, and Ed Upson giving Bristol Rovers a 2-goal lead. Joe Day getting himself sent off for Bristol Rovers. Meanwhile, Wimbledon against Wigan, the Battle of the W's ended up all square, but that point was enough for Wigan to get them out of the whole drop zone. Jamie Proctor on the score sheet, George Dobson giving them a share of the spoils. Actually, remember the 2-0 for Wigan. Unfortunately, I was wrong. Meanwhile, Gillingham smash 3-0 winners over Lincoln. In Lincoln, of course, Varane, Oliver, Carl Dempsey, Jordan Graham giving them a boost as well. 3-0 win for Gillingham. Their season is not over. 2-1 win for Lincoln for me. Got that one wrong. Meanwhile, Oxford kept their season on track with a 3-0 win over Doncaster, who looked like they're lost at sea right now. Matty Taylor with a couple of goals there. Oladimilio Sharipo getting the goal as well for Oxford as they kept on their live as well. It's so difficult, this division. 2-0 for me in the end. Meanwhile, Peterborough did get the win over Posh in the end at the 18th time of asking. Ramos Nicholson with a big fat OG giving Peterborough the spills on this one they win at Home Farm, Hope Park, wherever they I don't even know where they play. Of course, Accrington Stanley did play to Sunderland and they lost. Sunderland coming out top with Ross Stewart, Charlie White getting the goals for the Mackhams. And I got that one bang on the nose. As you can see, I got myself 6 out of 9, something like that. Let's take a look at how it looks in the table. Is this right? Is this right? It is right. Holly the charge, comfortably 3 points clear over Peterborough. They have played 2 games in hand, more than them, and you got to keep an eye on Sunderland though. They're sitting in 3rd and they are within touching distance. Win this week, and in fact, in this bumper week, they could go into the top 2. They could maybe even depending if they're midweek matches, they could go even top. So keep an eye on Sunderland. They're the team you don't want to be playing, especially in the look. They've only lost 5 all season. They've only lost 5 all season. So right, if I was a betting man, I would go Hull and Sunderland to go up. As for the chasing pack, you just don't know. You think Sunderland and Lincoln have definitely got playoffs. Doncaster, Charlton, I think Doncaster are on the wane. I think they're going to fall out of it. Ipswich could make the put. Gillingham, look at Portsmouth. I would even say all the way down still, maybe even MK Dons, it's still, again, because of the state of this division. And, look at Shrewsbury. If they win their 4 games in hand, that's 12. I know they won't, but if they were, that's 12 points. That would put them up to 54 points. Right here. So it's still anybody's guess. Of course, let's take a look at the next round of matches. Before we do that, though, we'll have a look at your picks. Here we go. Jonathan Sandham, you did good. Vincent Ong also did very well. Ashton Knights did good. Ultra over Milk, fair play. Of course, Yannick Buster did bits. Lee 2029. Yannick Buster, get back. I said he did shite. Of course, Lee 2029 also did good. Little Troller did shite as well. Okay, did okay. LNFC, you know me, you did poop, brother. Of course, Forever Football, PUFC did good. STFC Jake also did well. And Fedia 77 also did well. Yoki Wrexham did bits. Well done to you. Oladiojo also did very, very well. Iron Stringer did bits. Of course, James P50 did good. Omar Esquivel, well done to you. Of course, Game Charlie also did very, very well. Give you a free one right there. Of course, Shepard also did very, very well. Tiago Stanskinski also did good. Of course, Cody Coe also did very, very well. Well done, of course. And Russell Frost, well played to you, about that, of course. Let's have a little look. Of course, the table looks like this. Alan MC, you know me. Yannick Bustler and Liz Trolia did shide. As for the rest of the gang, Ivan Stringer, Vincent Hong, of course, John Sandham kicked out and took some names. They took the crown this week. Russell Frost, point lost there on the chasing pack. But what about the top of the table? It looks like this. Well, here it is. It is your main man, Russell Frost, of course, 2 percentage points clear over Joachim Jakobsen. The two heavyweights, if you want to look at it, have got themselves level on points here. Of course, STFC Jenko closing in on him. How did he get on? He lost a point on him. So, he needs to step up the plate, including this week. As you can see, a full fixture list this weekend. Of course, with some Brucey bonuses as well. So the next prediction league or video for this division will be after the conclusion of these midweek games. So there will be nothing. And we'll hopefully have a nice start to the week. But anyway, let's jump in the deep end. Of course, take a look at these next round of matches. Kicking it all off with Accrington Stanley up against Wigan. Of course, played the last 2 times. And it's actually been 1 win apiece. Of course, last round in Accrington, there's been none. But they also played that this season was a 7-goal thriller going in favour of Wigan. Accrington, though, losing the last 3 matches in League One. They come into this, just 1 win the past 6 games. That 1 was against Swindon. Meanwhile, Wigan unbeaten the last 3. 2 wins and a draw to boot. Have them believing again that they might be able to climb the table a little bit further. Out of the drop zone at the moment. Accrington Stanley even. Stevens for the victory. 25 is your 30-5 is your Wigan. Of course, Wigan, if they're victorious, they could go from 20th all the way up to 19th. Accrington are down to 13th. Still mathematically in with the hope of playoffs. But a win for them, they can move up to 8th in the table. I think I've gone with a draw on this one. 1-1 in the end. Point split right down the bloody middle. Next up, of course, we have Wimbledon taking, of course, at the minute, managerless matey boys. Charlton, of course, played for the last 6, 3 for Wimbledon, 3 for Charlton, no draws. Last round in Wimbledon was a 2-1 win for Wimbledon. That was, of course, in the Papa John's Trophy back in September this season. Also played for the last season was a 2-1 win for Charlton down Wimbledon way. Of course, also played for this season. Of course, it was a 5-2 win in Charlton down in the Valley. Of course, 7-goal thriller in the end. Of course, Charlton keep a clean sheet in 5 of the last 7 matches on the road. They come into this, though. Charlton unbeaten the last 6. Of course, pick up 3 wins and 2 draws. Sorry, in the last 5, pick up 3 wins and 2 draws to boot. Meanwhile, Wimbledon, just 1 defeat the past 5 for them. That 1 defeat was against Burton, of course. The rest have been draws. It's not good enough, though. Those draws you need to turn them into wins. Charlton come into 21-20 for the victory. 30-5 is your hosts. Of course, 12-5 is your draw. Of course, Wimbledon are in the drop zone, but for them, they can move up to as high as 19th. Charlton are actually in 6th. They're in playoffs. For them, they can move up to 5th. Imagine if Charlton were to get promoted and Birmingham were to get relegated, because that's where Bowyer's left. He's gone to Birmingham. Imagine that. But anyway, for me, I'm going to go with a 2-1 for Charlton. 3 points in the bag. Wimbledon are in trouble. Next up, of course, Burton, who are flipping free form at the moment, up against MK bloody Dons, who have made it back-to-back wins. Of course, played for the last 6, or last 3, should I say. 2 wins for Burton, nothing for Milton Keynes, 1 draw. Last round in Burton was a 1-0 win for Burton back in, of course, January 2020. Also, this is at the Stadium. MK was a 1-1 draw back in, of course, December. MK Dons have actually lost the last 3 on the road. Burton undefeated the last 7 matches, looking very, very good, of course. They're picking up 5 wins in the past 6 games for Burton, of course, drawing against Blackpool just the other day. Meanwhile, back-to-back wins for MK Dons, have them believing, but both of those games were at home. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Burton coming at you 9-5 for the victory, 29-20 is your MK Dons, 23-10 is your draw. Burton sitting 18th, but a win for them, they can move up to 17th, whereas MK Dons are actually in 14th, and a win for them, they can move up to 11th. Tough one, this one. Going to go with a 2-0 win, though, for Burton. Take the momentum with them and move the bloody chains. Of course, Fleetwood Town taking on, of course, Sunderland. No, they're not. They're taking on Swindon Town. Fleetwood Town taking on Swindon Town. Plays for the last 6, 2 for Fleetwood, 1 for Swindon, 3 draws last round in Fleetwood was, of course, 1-0 win for Swindon back in, of course, April 2017. Nicky Jose get the goal, of course, that one. Of course, they were sort of this season in Swindon was a 1-0 win for Fleetwood. So, yeah, it's evenly spread, of course. Fleetwood, though, keep a clean sheet in the last 4 matches. Heading into this, unbeaten the last 6. Fleetwood looking very good. Meanwhile, 4 defeats on the spin for Swindon seem to have them going down. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? We've got 4-3 on for Fleetwood. 50-4 is your Swindon. 5-2 is your draw. Of course, Swindon are rooted to the foot of the table. They are rock bottom, but a win for them, they can move up to 20th. As for their opposition, Fleetwood, they're climbing. Of course, in 11th, Simon Grayson's boys, a win for them, they can move to 8th in the table. 1-0 win for Fleetwood, get the 3 points, and again, move the chains. Another informed team at the moment is Gillingham. Just 1 defeat past 6 for them anyway, but anyway, taking on, of course, Doncaster, who played each other the last 6, 2 wins apiece, 2 bloody draws last round at the Priest Fields. It was, of course, a 2-1 win for Gillingham back in, of course, February 2020. They also played at the Keep Moat this season back in, of course, December. It was a 2-1 win for Doncaster. Doncaster, though, losing the last 5 away matches, also failing to score in the last 3. Gillingham, though, have actually won the last 3 at the moment. Actually, just 1 defeat the past 6. That 1 defeat was against high-flying Fleetwood. Meanwhile, 3 defeats on the spin, or 3 games without a win for Doncaster, losing to Crewe, losing to Oxford, and drawing with Northampton. Have them, I believe, lost. They're on their way out. Of course, the bookies odds 5-4 for Gillingham, 12-5 is draw, 2-1 is your Doncaster. Doncaster Doncaster currently find themselves in the playoffs for the time being, of course. As for Gillingham, they're in 9th. A win for Doncaster in 5th. They could close in on 4th. As for Gillingham in 9th, they could actually go above Doncaster up to 5th. That's right. The season is on. Gillingham, they're on this. 2-0 win in the end. Gillingham move the chains. Next, of course, Northampton Town. Taking on, of course, Crewe and Alexandra, of course. Place of the last 6. 3 for Northampton, 1 for Crewe. 2 draws. Last round in Northampton was a 4-1 win for Northampton in League 2. Of course, Scotty Wharton with a brace. Goal scorer and centre back. Of course, Sam Hoskins and Ali Williams as well. Chris Porter get the goal for Crewe. Also played each other this season in Crewe. Was a 2-1 win for Crewe back in, of course, December this season. Northampton undefeated in their last 7 home matches against Crewe in all comps. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat the past 4 games for Northampton. That 1 defeat was against Charlton. Meanwhile, Crewe just 1 win the past 5. That 1 was against Doncaster a couple of games back. Meanwhile, bookies odds on this one then, shall we? We have Northampton Town 9-5 for the victory. 29-20 is your draw. 23-10 is 23-10 is your draw. 29-20 is your Crewe. As for Northampton, they are in the drop zone just above though, but a win for them, they could go up to 19th. Crewe actually down to 15th, and right now they look lost at sea. For them, a win for them, they could go up to 11th, and maybe, just maybe, the dream is back on again, but I think they'll get a draw at this 1-1 in the end. Next up, of course, Oxford United, of course, Blackpool. Again, both of these two sides still in the mix, I believe. Played for the last 6, 4 for Oxford, 1 for Blackpool, 1 draw last round at the Kazam. Was, of course, back in February 2020, 2-1 win for Oxford. Also played at Bloomfield Road this season, was a 0-0 draw back in, of course, December. Oxford keep a clean sheet in 7 last 9 matches at home. Blackpool keep a clean sheet in the last 3 on the road. They've also also won the last 3 home matches against Blackpool in all comps. Heading into this, is 1 defeat the past 6 games for Oxford. That was against Hull. A lot of draws knocking around. Meanwhile, same can be said for Blackpool. Unbeaten the last 6, picking up 4 draws at the past 6 games, winning a couple of those though as well. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? 6-4 for Blackpool, 6-4 for Oxford, 9-5 is your Blackpool, 11-5 is your draw. Blackpool coming into this in 12th, and for them they could actually go as high as 8th. Sitting in 8th is Oxford, and with them they could move into the top 5. Tough one this one, getting it to Oxford at the Kazam, 2-0 in the end. Plymouth Argyle taking on, of course, Bristol Rovers. Played for the last 6, 2 for Bristol Rovers, 1 for Plymouth, 3 draws last round in Plymouth. There was a 1 win for Bristol Rovers back in the FA Cup last season. They also played each other last round in the league. At Plymouth was a 2-2 draw back in March 2019. They also played this season 3-0 win for Bristol Rovers back in, of course, December. Rovers, though, losing the last 4 away matches. Plymouth actually lost the last 5, both home and away. Coming into this, 2 ropey-dopey kind of teams at the moment. Just 1 win the past 5 games for Bristol Rovers against Accrington Stanley. Just 1 defeat the past 3, though. Meanwhile, 5 defeats on the spin in all competitions for Plymouth have them scrambling around. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Plymouth look lost at sea. Of course, 29-20 is the odds for the victory for the host. 7-4 is your Bristol Rovers. 23-10 is your draw. Bristol Rovers are in 19th, and with them they can move up to closer to 18th. As for Plymouth, they are on a hiding to nothing. They're in 16th, but with them they can move up to 14th in the end. Going to go with Bristol Rovers against the home team here. Plymouth are really at trouble. Bristol Rovers are hoping to keep their season alive. Pompey taking, of course, Ipswich Town here. Let's get into this one, shall we? Of course, possibly new manager at Portsmouth. Cowley's rumoured to be in. Cookie now in charge over at Ipswich. Played for the last 6, 4 for Portsmouth, 1 for Ipswich, and 1 draw last round at Fratton Park. Was in the League 1, of course, back in December 2019. A 1-0 win for Pompey, of course. Also played for this season at Port Road. It was a 2-0 win for Portsmouth as well. They've actually gone 1, 2, 3, 4 game winning run against Ipswich. They like playing against them. Can they make it 5 wins on the spin? Pompey, though, losing the last 4 matches in League 1. They come into this looking very, very shit at the moment. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 4 games. Ipswich have them fans questioning if Cookie is the answer, perhaps. Well, you've got to give him time. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Shall we? Even Steve for Portsmouth, 13-5 is your Ipswich, 12-5 is your draw. Ipswich companies find themselves in 7th, but a win for them. They could go as high as 5th. Portsmouth all the way down to 10th right now, but a win for them. They got a couple of games in hand, with a couple of teams. A win for them, they could shoot up to 6th and get themselves right back in the playoffs. Going to go with a 2-1 win for Ipswich on this one. New manager bounce, not yet for Portsmouth. Next up was Rochdale up against Peterborough. Taking each other the last 6. It's been 2 wins for Rochdale, 4 for Peterborough. No draws last round. It's spot. This was a 4-1 win for Peterborough back in, of course, August 2018. In fact, it's been 4 wins on the spin for Peterborough, who like to score goals. In fact, the last 4 matches between these two sides, Peterborough have scored, 6, 12, 20 goals in the past 4 games, averaging, I believe, is that around about 5 goals a game? Something like that. Have I counted that right? 10... 18 goals a game. 18 goals a game. So around about 3 to 4 goals a game against Rochdale. So I like scoring here. Rochdale are failing to win the last 15 matches at home. Also can see at least 2 goals in 9 last 10 matches at home as well. Peterborough winning again, like as I said, the last 4. However, Peterborough's form heading into this, just 1 win the past 4 games. That 1 was against Portsmouth, of course, last time around. Meanwhile, Rochdale coming to this on the back of the win against Lincoln City. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Of course, Rochdale coming at 7-2 for the victory, 5-4 on is your Peterborough, 5-2 is your draw. Rochdale are actually in the drop zone, but for them they can move up to 19th. Peterborough Peterborough are actually in second, and with them they could go top, depending on what goes on elsewhere. They'll get the win, 2-0 win over Rochdale in the end. Next up, we've got Shrewsbury going up against Hull City. Let's take a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, played the last 6, 1 for Shrewsbury, 3 for Hull, 2 draws last time around in Shrewsbury. At Meadow Lane was, of course, a 1-1 draw back in, of course, October 2002. Wow. In League 2, that was. Elliott on the score sheet, Stevens as well for Shrewsbury. Last time around, though, of course, this season was a 1-0 win for Shrewsbury back in, of course, December. Hull, though, scored at least 3 goals in the last 4 away matches, also winning the last 5 as well. Coming into this, 5 on the spin. Of course, last time they suffered a defeat was all the way back in February against Ipswich Town. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 5 games for Shrewsbury. That was against Rochdale. A couple of games back. Meanwhile, bookies odds on this one then, shall we? We've got Shrewsbury 60-5 for the victory, 65 on is your Hull, 35 is your draw. Shrewsbury down in, of course, 17th, but with them, they can move up to 16th. As for Hull, they are top, and they'll be top if they get a draw or more. Going to go with a 2-1 for Hull on this one, 3 points in the bag. Then we have a fruity one here. Sunderland up against Lincoln City. Of course, played the last 4, 3 for Sunderland, 1 for Lincoln. No draws. Last time around at the Stadium of Light was in the Papa John's Trophy this season. It was a 1-1 draw for Sunderland, who went through on penalties or something like that in the end. Also, played the last season at Stadium of Light was a 3-1 win for Sunderland as well. Also played this season in Lincoln 4-0 win. So Sunderland actually won technically unbeaten against Lincoln in the last 3. Sunderland, though, winning 7 last 8 matches in League 1. Keep a clean sheet in 6 last 7 as well. Looking very, very good at the moment. 5 wins on the spin in all comps. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 6 games for Lincoln. Have them flapping around, and they could be flapping themselves out of the old playoffs at this rate. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? We have Sunderland coming out to 65 on for the victory. 5-2 is your draw. 10-3 is your Lincoln City. Lincoln City are actually in 4th, but they could, they'll be 4th, the worst case scenario for the time being. Sunderland, though, they could go top. They could go 2nd, sorry, with a win and a little bit of luck going their way. They'll get the win here, 3-1 over Lincoln City. Lincoln City shit, Sunderland are the team to stop. So into the Brucey bonus fixtures we go. We have got, I believe we've got some matches coming on, of course. I'm having a look at it. I've got Wimbledon up against Rochdale. I don't even know if that's going to go ahead. I've got nothing on this one, absolutely, but I don't even see it in the fixture list, so that game is probably not going to go ahead. But if it does go ahead, I'm just going to whack in a scoreline here with a 1-1 draw in the end for Wimbledon. But we do have, of course, Blackpool taking, of course, Peterborough this midweek coming up. Of course, played the last 6, 3 for Blackpool, 1 for Peterborough, 2 draws last time around at Bloomfield Rovers, a 4-3 win in favour of Blackpool, 7-goal thriller back in, of course, November 2019. I've also played this season in Peterborough, 2-1 win for Blackpool as well. So they like playing against Peterborough, do they? Indeed, of course, Blackpool drawing the last 4 home matches, though, in League 1. Coming into this unbeaten the last 5 as well. As for Peterborough, just 1 win the past 4. We talked about that already, and that one was against Portsmouth. No bookies odds on this one, though, but if, of course, Blackpool get 6 points out of 6 this past coming week, they could go from bloody 12th all the way up to 5th in the table. That's playoffs. As for Peterborough, if they win both of their games, they could go top as well. I think they'll not lose this one. I think they're gonna pick up 3 points. Blackpool, though, what are they going to do? They're going to pick up just the 3 points as well. Next, of course, Bristol Rovers taking on, of course, Swindon down. Relegation 6-pointer right here. Played the last 6, 3 for Bristol Rovers, 2 for Swindon, 1 draw last round in Bristol was a 1-0 win for Bristol Rovers, of course, back in the Papa John's Trophy back in 2019. They also played the last round in the league was a 1-0 win for Bristol back in, of course, January 2017. It was a 1-0 win as well. They played this season in Swindon. It was a 1-0 win for Swindon back in, of course, November. Swindon, though, losing the last 4 matches, and they come into this looking very, very shit at the moment. Just last time they won was, of course, against Northampton back at the end of Feb. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 5. Also, Bristol Rovers have them scrambling around. No bookies odds, of course, but a win for 6 points again on the agenda for Bristol Rovers. Win both of those, they could go as high as they can't really go much. They can't go anywhere. But they need to win both of them to close in on Burton. As for their opposition, Swindon, again, if they win both of their games, they could go as high as 19th in the table. So chance to get them out of the drop zone and some. But I think Bristol Rovers will nick this one with a 1-0 win in the end. Northampton Town taking, of course, Oxford United. Let's get into this one then, shall we? Of course, played for the last 6. 3 for Northampton, 1 for Oxford, 2 draws. Last time around, though, at Northampton was a 0-0 draw back in, of course, February 2018 in League 1. Of course, they also played each other this season. Alexandra back in December, of course, 4-0 win for Oxford. Heading into this, Oxford just 1 defeat past 5 for them. Their 1 defeat was against Hull. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat past 4 for Northampton. That was against Charlton as well. Again, no bookies odds, but Oxford have 2 games this week and win both of them. They could go as high as 5th. As for Northampton, same deal for them. If they win both of those games, they could go from 21st. They could go as